Hallo ihr Lieben, ich freue mich ganz doll, dass wir heute hier sind in Hamburg im Studio von Toni Rockhoff im Powerhouse. Und zwar ist hier heute Bob Liekens. Und ja, wir werden ein bisschen sprechen über, ja, natürlich über Bob, aber auch über the Pilates Standard und über das Liebprogramm. Und ja, ich hoffe, es wird ein interessanter Talk. Sowas ist immer ein bisschen aufregend für mich, auch auf Englisch. So bear with me, I'm sometimes a little nervous if
That's
I talk
okay.
English on camera.
We'll do it together.
Yes. Yeah, we just thought about talking German and Flemish.
Yes, right, exactly. Let's keep it in English.
So Bob, you're from Belgium?
Yes, originally, yep.
Originally from Belgium. And can you talk a little about your coming into the Pilates field? How
Yes.
did you come? How was your way?
Okay, so I trained here in Europe as a dancer in the Netherlands for 4 years. Then I danced for 1 year in France. And then with the company, there was Viola Farber, and she then invited me to continue dancing in New York. Of course, I was very excited. I was like, I'm going to New York. And then from friends, I got like different addresses, different studios. And one of those addresses was the Pilates studio. I had never heard of it, didn't know what it was.
So when was that?
This was in 1983. It's quite a while ago already. So when I arrived in New York, of course, first I get established with the dance. And then, yeah, then I started going to all the different studios and ended up in that Pilates studio, and I really enjoyed it compared to other studios. I was like, well, this is fun, it was a great crew, it was a great place. It was a little too expensive in the beginning, but you had to buy right away the 5 first sessions, like Joseph Pilates always wanted. I didn't have that money. So they were like, okay, get the money and then come later, you know, come back. So I had to wait a couple of months, work as a waiter in New York. Then I got back to the studio, and yeah, then I signed up, and well, I'm still here, you know, teaching Pilates. And that was Romana's, what we refer to as Romana's old studio, the old studio on yeah, 56th Street. And yeah, and I really enjoyed it, and I did that for like 3 years, just as a student. Came on was in the afternoon, so I didn't really work a lot with Romana yet, because it was always in the morning. I was dancing or tired from waiting tables. So it's only later really that I started working with Romana herself. In the beginning with other people who I'm still friends with. We still know each other after all these years. It's 35 years now. Yeah, so we're a good, you know, a good group together. We can discuss about, you know, what's happening in the Pilates world, what we remember from the old studio. Did Romana do it like this or so? Yeah. And at some point I actually was again in the afternoon as a student, and Romana came up to me and said, honey, you teach. I'm like, Romana, I'm not a Pilates teacher. She says, you're a dance teacher, you teach. Because, yeah, and that was it. My certification, my everything exam in 1 second, you teach. And I started teaching. But I was still working in the restaurant. It was a Japanese restaurant, so at some point these people say, come to Japan.
So excuse me, was this the normal way if she chooses you?
Yes, that was how it was in Joe's days, you know, and that Romana just copied what Joe was doing. Like you were an apprentice, not with study and a book and an exam. You just were there. You had to come at least 3 times a week. You know, you have to show up. And if she liked you, by the way, she liked the guys, but there were not that many around. So, and she knew I was a dance teacher and so on. So, and she needed somebody, and that's, she likes you, you're in, you start.
Was this your plan?
No, absolutely not. It was not my plan, because also that's why in the beginning I was a kind of like, okay, I do it, I like it. But you know, I had to make money, and it was exhausting in the Japanese restaurant. I went a year to Japan, so a year I was away from the Pilates studio, and then I came back to New York. It was like, okay, I need a job. Romana can give me full time.
No.